For the first time in over a month, the Raptors were actually favored for a game that they played, and they make good on that claim by winning this one against the Washington Wizards, covering the spread and making it back-to-back wins. Let's break it all down for you in tonight's post-game show. So as far as winning basketball games go, that Bucks game felt really good as a Raptors fan. We've had so many of these terrible losses, the agony over the course of this run of games, the 15-game losing streak. It was fun to win that game. We had a nice buffer from the 7th worst record from the Memphis Grizzlies, who were 3 full games up on the Raptors. It's fun to watch the Bucks downfall. So yeah, it was a great feeling to win that game. This one I went in thinking a loss wouldn't be the worst thing here, but the Washington Wizards did their best to try and lose this one. Not a good lineup overall for the Wizards. The Raptors, in fact, likely strengthened their lineup compared to what they had in that Bucks game. 5 quality NBA players started. Grady Dick coming off the bench. Yeah, the Raptors came into this game against a lowly Wizards team as 5-point favorites, and they ended up winning by 8. Now, probably should have won by a lot more than 8. They led by 29 early. They led by 25 after one quarter. Went on a horrible start of the second quarter. I think it was a 23-4 run by the Wizards to start the second quarter. Took the Raptors 7 minutes to get 4 points. But in the end, the Raptors, they come through. They get things back late second. They keep control in the third. And went on a bit of a run in the fourth quarter as well. Falter a little bit late. Maybe you can forgive them a little bit. They felt comfortable. They felt like they didn't need to keep their foot on the gas. Whereas the Wizards played this one to the death, man. They absolutely played this one to the death. They drew this one out as long as they possibly could, but not to any avail. Second last home game of the season. Raptors pick up win number 25. So where the Raptors found success and how they got out to such a large advantage early, defensively, they were locked in. Gary Trent had 3 early steals, as did Kelly Olynyk. The Wizards turned the ball over 8 times in the first quarter. The Raptors just used those extra possessions to fantastic avail, going out to a big advantage. And when they had to settle down in the half court as well, they were able to do so. Slow things down, create opportunities for each other. The cutting to the rim was good. The off-ball movement was good. The ball movement in general was good to see. Shots were falling. That completely dried up. Maybe you can anticipate a little bit with the Raptors bench coming into the game. Raptors bench struggled in this one mostly. Not really Grady Dick. He played well before the injury, which we'll talk about in just a second here. Bruce Brown came on in the second half better. Garrett Temple did better in the second half instead of going to Jalen McDaniels. But yeah, not great from the Raptors bench. This is a showcase for them to make the roster potentially for next season, or anybody's roster for next season, but they did not really showcase enough there. But the starters were fantastic. Kelly Olynyk drops 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists with those 3 steals, as I said, on 8 of 12 shooting. Gary Trent, 20 points, 9 of 16 from the field, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Like, not usual. Gary Trent loads up in other statistics like that, but also dropped 3 steals. RJ Barrett, 9 of 19, 22 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. And maybe the most impressive performance of the night, Emmanuel Quickly, 31 points, 9 of 15 shooting, 13 assists, and 7 rebounds, also for good measure, added on a steal. 9 points from Ochai Agbaji, some good defense overall played. Not a bad days of work for the starting 5. Grady Dick exited the game with a groin contusion, but had 13 points on pretty efficient shooting. Contusions use your impact injuries and aren't ones that will really shake up a player too badly. There's no need to rush bringing a guy back right now, thankfully, so we can afford to have him rest. But I don't think it would be super serious, despite the fact that he did leave the game early and did not return. But yeah, with the bench, like, McDaniels is tough to watch, man. He doesn't really have anything to play for. He's on a contract for next season, but I wouldn't be opposed to a buyout. Bruce Brown improved in the second half, ended with 9 points, had a couple and ones. But Malik Williams struggled again. Freeman Liberty has just really started to struggle. I don't know, what's the opposite of growing on me? My opinion of him is fading the more I see him. He's not a good defender. He's inconsistent on offense. He was 0 of 5 today, but the defense is the most frustrating thing. Didn't make use of his minutes here, and Jordan Nwora falling out of favor here. A DNP. Like, the guy that has nothing to play for, Garrett Temple, Like, he's like hustling the most out there of the bench guys. 5 points for Garrett Temple, including an and one for the old man. From a Wizards perspective, big games from Avdia and Poole. Kispert as well. It seemed like he couldn't miss from three in the first half, but there just wasn't enough overall in this team to hang with the Raptors today. The Raptors end up shooting 51% from the field, 35% from three. It's 47% from the Wizards, so the interior defense was more astute from the Raptors' perspective, and 40% on threes. 15 turnovers for the Wizards, 14 for the Raptors. Overall, it comes down to it's a make-or-miss league. The Raptors just were a little bit more efficient for longer stretches of this game and were able to impose their talent, which is strange. Impose their talent on this one and overall get the win. Strange for the Raptors to be a more talented team in a matchup, but that was the case today. So, second last home game of the season for Toronto, and things are a little bit, maybe just a little bit hazy now when it comes to the bottom six odds that we're looking for, the bottom six record that we're looking for. I really loved the Bucks win, and I still do, but kind of would have been better to win like some of these winnable games and not win the game you weren't supposed to. 4 games left in the season. Raptors are only going to be 2 games back of the Memphis Grizzlies here. It says 3.5 here. Let's see if I refresh if it'll update here. But when the Raptors update, so it is updated here, they are 2 games back of the Memphis Grizzlies. The Raptors are not going to catch Portland anymore, but 2 games back of the Grizzlies. Upcoming schedule, Raptors have, I would call it a winnable game against the Pacers, a very winnable game against the Nets, and 2 tough games against the Heat, but if the Heat have seeding locked up, who knows who they're going to be playing in that game. Grizzlies will have, they have the Spurs, the struggling Cavs, Lakers, Nuggets. I mean, they should really lose these 3 games, a chance to win here. So all I'm saying is, like, it makes me slightly nervous about the end of the season, the Raptors potentially catching the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't think they will, but there's a bit more nerves involved there. So hopefully the Raptors can do a little bit of the tanking business the rest of the way and just fortify their position as a bottom 6 team, maintaining those 45% odds at keeping that top 6 protected pick that they sent over to the San Antonio Spurs, of course, at the 2023 NBA trade deadline. But for the first time in a while, just a clean win. A clean, relatively sweat-free win for the Raptors. A nice, comfy watch. Good performance. That's one that's definitely going to do a lot for the confidence of these players. Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett are continuing to perform at a very high level for the Raptors. I get that this is not the most formidable competition, but the prospect of working with these guys going forward, a core with Barrett, Quickly, Barnes, and even adding in Grady Dick to that, supplementing that with maybe 3 picks in this upcoming draft, maybe 2 lottery picks if all things go well for the Raptors. It's an exciting prospect. It makes me excited for next season, but we're still going to grind through the rest of this season. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, because for the rest of the season, we still have Raptors content on the way, and we still have plenty of Raptors content coming at you in the offseason and beyond.